Hey, College Algebra Prep, Miss Soli here. Today we are going to talk installment buying. So this is 4.5, buying things in installments. I'm paying off a loan. Oof. All right, so this is an installment buying is you're just going to purchase an item over time. People use this for new appliances, new car, new boat. New couch, basically things that are like you might not necessarily have the money for in the moment, but you can break it into smaller payments. Some installment buying, sometimes they have a lot of incentives like buy now for 0% financing, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes they have like holiday deals like that. And an installment loan is the type of loan you take when you're installment buying. This is money borrowed to make one large purchase. Okay. And in this situation, what we're going to be doing is I want you to be calculating the rate. So I'm going to give you kind of all the information, and I want you to calculate the APR, or the annual percentage rate on the loan. All right. So for example, let's get a new car. New cars aren't really this much money, but I think this example is from a long time ago. Let's pretend. Let's say our new car is $14,000, and I'm going to put $280 down, and my monthly payment is $315 per month for 60 months. Or 5 years. Very typically, car loans are either 5 or 6 years. They're not usually much longer than that. Typically, new cars, I think mine was a 6-year loan when I bought my car. Totally varies on the bank and your financial situation at the time. At the time, I wanted a lower monthly payment, so I got a 6-year loan. So let's figure out how much I needed to finance. How much was this loan initially for? Amount financed. So this car was originally for $14,000. I put $280 down. So the loan that I took out for this car minus 280 is $13,720. That's how much I needed a loan for. And then let's figure out that finance charged. So this is like how much I paid with interest. So if I paid $315 for 60 months, plus I also paid that $280 originally, right? How much money does it cost to pay this loan? So $315 times 60 months plus $280. That means total to the loan 19,180. Okay, so then how much it took me to finance this is how much total I paid, is going to be that 19,180 minus that sale price. So $5,180 is the cost to finance my loan. That's the amount that I paid the bank to borrow the amount that I borrowed, right? Now, once that I got this, one important number is called the, I don't know if it's called this, finance charge per $100. So basically, every $100 that I paid on this loan, how much of that 100 was going to interest? So I'm going to take that 5,180 divided by my loan amount times 100, and I get $37.76. So every $100 I paid towards this loan, I then paid $37 to interest. Now, with this, I can use an APR table to find the percent of interest that I paid there. So I pulled up, I just searched on the Google. Let's see, what did I search? Okay, APR table. It moved my head. APR table, and a lot of different ones come up. I went with the .gov one just because it's got the most numbers in it. And what I'm going to do is look at this big old table, right? I paid where are my tables? So a 60 payments, and my finance per $100, that 37 and 76. I want to find a number that's closest to that. Ooh, there it is. 37.29. 60 payments, 37.29. So this number up here, 13.25, that is my annual percentage rate. So what I did was I found that I had 60 payments, and then in my 60 column, I found the number closest to that finance charge per 137.29. And then that percent up here, number of the annual percentage rate is my rate. Okay, it's in that one. 13.25. Okay, 13.25. Okay. Using the APR table, the rate is 13.25%. Okay, move on. You feel free to do this again. I'll give you an example here that you can kind of do on your own time if you want to. A new boat. Then, there is a way to kind of save money in this. So I feel like I've been saying is, it takes so much money to borrow money. You have to be careful about, is what I'm borrowing money for worth it? But there are some strategies to kind of get around how much money it costs. And that is looking at unearned interest. So this is when, like, I still have a lot of loan payments left. And there's still a lot due on the loan. But if I were to pay off my loan today, how much money would I save in interest? This is interest that is still due on a loan that would not be collected if you paid off the loan early. So like I owe an amount of interest with each monthly payment that I give, but if I pay them all off, I then do not need to pay all that interest and I'm going to get some money back um, on my loan. And here's the formula for it. So U is going to be your unearned interest is all over n plus 1 times f. What do all of these mean? So K is going to be the remaining scheduled payments, not the original amount, like not 60 months, but K is how many were scheduled to be. So like if I've already paid for 24 months, how many months are left? Remaining scheduled payments. F is the original finance charge. So total with like the loan and the finance, how much is it going to cost total? And N is the number of original payments. And the payoff amount is just how much you have to pay right now to finish paying off the loan. So let's say we're going to do, I do not have a ton of space here. So if you don't either, that's okay. Let's say let's buy new flooring for our house. So for example, you borrow $14,000 for new flooring. You finance, you put $2,000 down and you pay $275 per month for 60 months. Okay. So what is the finance amount? So if I get $14,000 minus my $2,000 down payment, I need a loan for $12,000, right? And then my total finance charge, your FC, is going to be $275 times 60 months plus those $2,000 I paid for a down payment, right? Plus 2,000. Oop, not 20,000 is $18,500. That's how much it's going to cost me total to finance this loan. Or I mean, sorry, this is like the total amount, I guess. The finance charge would be what's the difference? Minus the total sale price is $4,500. So it's going to cost me $4,500 to finance this loan. All right, let's find the APR. So I'm going to go to my APR table, right? So I've got my 4,500 divided by total I paid, 12,000 times 100 is, oh, very similar, 37.5. I bet it's going to be the same. That same closest one. But this time I'm not looking at the 60 column. I'm looking, oh, yes, I am. Okay. And I want 37.5. Oh, it totally is that one again. 37.5. So it's 13.25% APR. All right, then right over here though, let's go ahead and calculate the unearned interest. I'm just going to say, keep going. Okay, instead of making the 30-second payment, you pay off the loan. How much interest did you save? All right, let's take a look. So I'm going to calculate my payment with that new U formula. So if it is my 30-second payment, so how many did I have remaining then? Out of 60 minus 32, 28. So K is 28 over the original number of payments I was going to make was 60 times the finance cost, which was 4,500. Okay, let's see. So 28 times 29 on top divided by 60 times 61 times 4,500, $998.36 is how much you will save by paying that loan off early. In the United States, it is illegal to pay off this in certain ways. You have to kind of be careful. For a loan over 5 years, they don't always let you pay it off because it's bad for banks. So be careful when you're thinking about that in terms of a loan. Is it allowed to pay it off early? Yeah.